How would you like to scramble your internal failure mechanism and go out there and live an awesome life? Okay, I've actually studied failure here, and I'm going to be revealing to you in this video the reasons why we fail and 7 power tips on how you can get out of the failure mindset. Okay, so welcome to Inside Out. Let's get it. Awesome. So welcome to Inside Out, and this is where I cover concepts on how you can become a better person. Okay, and it's even for me. The reason I'm doing this is so that I can become a better person and become a better version of myself with every single video that I do. So in this section, I'm going to be talking about the 7 reasons why we fail and 11 power tips on how you can overcome failure in the most practical way. Okay, so let's get into the first section, which is the 7 reasons why we fail. The first reason is lack of persistence. We give up too soon. We don't take things to the finish line. That's for the first reason. The second reason is lack of conviction. We do not believe in what we are promoting, or we do not believe in what we are doing, and we do not believe in what we are saying in some cases. So lack of conviction is a short route to failure. Okay. Number 3 is rationalization. You give too many excuses on why you're not able to do something. That's not the way life operates. Okay, you need to push things and take things to the finish line. That's one of the other reasons why people fail. Number 4 is dismissal of past mistakes. This is also where the ego kicks in, where you don't even accept that that you're wrong. Like even in my case, sometimes I feel I'm doing the same thing again and again. I'm not getting the results. I need to just stop and think about, hey, there's something wrong with me. If I'm not getting the results, there's something wrong with me. I need to work on myself. Okay, so that aspect of humility needs to come in, and if there's ego, there's no way you're going to be successful. Number 5 is lack of discipline. Okay, lack of discipline, it goes back to lack of conviction. If you're not convinced in what you're doing, you're never going to be disciplined. And number 6 is poor self-esteem, where you feel low about oneself. You feel less about oneself. And self-esteem is one of the guiding forces to failure. So if people have a low self-esteem, there's a high chance they're not going to follow through and take action. And finally, the last one is a fatalistic attitude. A fatalistic attitude is something which is very, very dangerous. It's where you cannot even look in the mirror at your face, where you cannot even say things like, I love myself. These are some of the things that really cause a huge black mark in oneself, and that prevents one from going forward and achieving things in life. So how can we overcome this? There are 11 steps on how you can do this. The first one is get to the root cause. Understand the reason why you are in this failure mode. Okay, you can use a technique called the 5 why reasoning technique. Okay, and there's a nice quote here which says, never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. Okay, single defeat is different from a final defeat. So a 5 why reasoning technique is, if you ask yourself why 5 times, you'll get to the actual reason why. The second tip is simplify life, because sometimes we take too many things and we're not able to complete every single thing. And clarity has power. In fact, in this book, I've written a whole bunch of statements on the one thing. I read this book called The One Thing. Things like, what's the one thing I can do to help others? What's the one thing I can do to improve my relationship with my spouse? What's the one thing I can do to improve my relationship with God? Okay, things like that. So once you're very clear on the one thing that you want to do, then you can start simplifying your life. And I like this quote by Leonardo da Vinci where he says, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Number 3 is failing forward. Our education system is broken in many ways, and we are never taught to fail forward. In fact, we are told we should never ever fail in our lives. And because we come from that kind of an education system, we never take risks in life, and that never comes to the, it never occurs to us that failure is only feedback. Robert Allen has beautifully said this, there is no failure, there's only feedback. So there's a third principle, is failing forward. Principle number 4 is failure is an event. It is never a person. Even if you fail at something, it is not about you, it's about the event. Okay, and this is another big thing. If you're able to imbibe this, you'll realize that failure is just an event. Number 5 is free your mind. Free your mind is things like, I like this quote by Buddha where he says, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. So you can actually choose what you want to think. So the reason why I'm doing such videos is so that I can also think about things beyond the other stuff that's negativity that may be in my life, and so that I can focus on the more important things which can improve the quality of my life and the life of others. Okay, so freeing your mind and choosing what to think matters a lot. Okay. Number 6 is change your perspective. You can either look at a glass half empty or half full. That's up to you. And failure teaches success. So change your perspective about things. Personal growth, self-development, lifelong learning is like taking a bath every single day. Suppose you have tried and failed again and again. You need to be in this whole mood of constant learning and relearning and educating yourself. And when you're a lifelong learner, there is nothing like failure. There's only feedback and failing forward. Number 8 is welcome fear. I went through a panic attack in 2015. It was pretty bad. And I had to face my fears and specifically my mind. And I had to trust my inner guide, and meditation helped me come out of it. So we gain strength and courage and confidence by experiencing fear head on in the things. And that's one of the reasons why people do bungee jumping, skydiving, zip lining to overcome their fears, because once they transform in the mind, then they feel they can achieve anything in their life. Number 9 is imagine your future. Keep your eyes on the goal in the future. This is the aspiration side of things. You need to aspire for something really good in the future. What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything? Vincent van Gogh. And 10 is stay in the now. Be mindful, because the reason why it's called present is because it's a gift. Gift is also a present, right? So that's the power of now. So do not dwell in the past. Do not dream in the future. Concentrate your mind in the present moment. And finally, live your passion. Think, act, stop, think, act, and there's no race. Just think about what you're put on this earth for and start chasing that, okay? So, no man is a failure who's enjoying life, who's responsible, and who's really living his passion, by William Feather. So, these are some of the reasons. These are 11 reasons, 11 power tips on how you can overcome failure. In fact, I'm also going to give you a list of famous failures. Let's just expand all of them. I'm not going to read out all their failures, but I'm going to give you this mind map from Sachin Tendulkar, Michael Jordan, Thomas Edison, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Nelson Mandela, Bill Gates, Abraham Lincoln, Isaac Newton, Ludwig van Beethoven, Walt Disney, Winston Churchill, Steven Spielberg, Albert Einstein, Henry Ford. And I'm going to give you a whole bunch of resources also on how you can actually get inspired to overcome internal failure. Go ahead and take action and overcome your fears also. Okay. So if you want to get your hands on this mind map, go to asksids.com, ASKSIDZ.com, and just type fail forward without any spaces and everything in lowercase, FAILFORWARD. And I'll give you a high resolution copy of this mind map so that you can go take a printout of it, revise this, and get inspired to live a life of full potential. Cheers and God bless.